Good afternoon and welcome to another week of Strength and Conditioning with Para Rowing Foundation. I have Kingsley with me today. Hello Kingsley, thanks for
Hello.
joining. And we are going to work today a lot of our postural stabilizers, make sure that those shoulders can move in all of the right directions. And we're going to be warming up with some great thoracic mobility, just to make sure that we have the freedom in that mid-back. So what you will need today is a wall, or you can use an imaginary wall, which I believe Kingsley will be using for part of our workout. And you'll need a band anchored at somewhere around shoulder height or a little bit lower would be preferable. So when you're ready, let's start with our normal warm-up. So we're just going to start with our elevation and depression. So on an inhale, just raise those shoulders up as high as you can, build that tension. Good. Exhale, drop the shoulders down. Feel that tension melt away. Inhale, pull the shoulders up to the ears. I don't know the answer. Exhale, pull them away. Guys, it's really hard not to talk to Kingsley in a British accent. Not kidding. Pull the shoulders back up. Good. Feel that tension on the top of the shoulders. As you exhale, pull from the armpits. Yes, find that nice connection down. 2 more times. Inhale, shoulder blades slide up the back. Exhale, they pull down like you're sheathing your shoulder blades into place. Last time. And exhale, drop them down. Let's leave that depression. Find that nice swan neck. Hands can come out in front of you now for our protraction and retraction. So we inhale and squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. And then exhale, push the fingertips away. Find that nice spread of the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull back. And then exhale, press them forward. Good. So with protraction and retraction, we're now working in that horizontal plane. So instead of sliding up and down, we're sliding forward and backward. So it's without bending the elbows at all. You should be able to feel that the shoulders go further away from the body as we protract and come closer in as we retract. Last time. Exhale, press the fingertips away. Inhale, draw back in, and then drop those hands. All right, find your wall. So we're going to start seated facing to the side, all right? And what we're going to do is we're going to do our book openers, all right? Just like we've done in the past, but this time we're sitting up. So hands come out in front of you, all right? You can use that wall for support with your hand that's on the wall. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna open out to the side, keep pressure into the hand that's on the wall, and open, spinning as far as you can. When you reach that point that you feel you can't go any further, think about reaching your fingertips that are on the wall a little bit away from your body. Get that little bit of extra opposition. And then draw back into center. Good. So we're going to inhale, rotate open. Think about spinning the spinal column. And then exhale, use those supporting obliques and front abdominals to close you back up. Let's take 3 more on this side. Inhale, think about someone doing a little tug of war on your arms, pulling you in opposite directions. And then exhale, we find that center position. Good. And this should feel like a nice, maybe departure from how we normally kind of sit and go about our lives. A lot of times we don't rotate. And with sculling, there's just no difference. You just stay facing the same direction. But rotation is a really normal, natural part of the spinal movement. So we just want to make sure that thoracic spine functions properly. Last time, inhale, barbershop pull, reaching up, 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 spinning those colors. And exhale, close it up. Nice. Whew, and your shoulders might be working just to keep your arms up, especially if you have an imaginary wall. All right, hands come back into position. Now your hand that's not on the wall is just gonna hold on somewhere just to stabilize you a little bit. The hand that is on the wall is going to slide up the wall, like you're gonna point to the ceiling. Yep. And then as we come around, the palm flips so it's now on the wall, and you reach so your chest starts to spin towards the wall. Good. and then bring it back. So we're drawing a little semicircle right in place. Nice, good. So we're gonna inhale as we draw up and over. Good. Finding that little bit of pressure into the wall to help, not force you, but help guide you into that position. And on our next one, we're gonna add just a tiny bit of extension. So as we draw up and over, think about leaning and opening your chest towards the sky just a little bit, just maybe an inch or two. You can look up towards the ceiling a little bit as well. And then draw back, bring everything back to neutral as you come into that front position. Last time, reach it up and over. Make sure that gaze is following your armpit. Little bit of extension. And then exhale, draw it all the way back to your center position. All right, nice job. Now, flip so you're facing your back against the wall, all right? And we're gonna take a little snow angel here, all right? So make a W position with your arms. I'll show you guys what I mean facing front, all right? So I am in a nice W position. And then from here, really think about sliding the shoulder blades flat against the wall. Try to get the back of the hands towards the wall. They probably won't touch. And then we're going to just reach the hands up so that we're bringing into our cactus arms. And then exhale, draw the elbows back down towards the ribs. Yes. So as we inhale, we're lifting up. Make sure those shoulder blades don't lift with you. And then we're exhaling, pulling the elbows down, wrapping the ribs. Nice. Let's take about 4 more. And as we're pulling down, really find that connection right underneath the armpit. I don't know why this sticks with me, but I always imagine if I were a lizard that had those big like hooded frills around the neck, mine would be in my lats and they would just get like really bulgy and big as I was drawing down. So make your bearded dragon roar as you're pulling down. There you go. There's your crazy image from the brain of Steph for the morning. Last one right here. Draw the shoulders up. Trying to isolate from the shoulder joint, keep the shoulder blades in place. Exhale, pull the elbows down, feel that heat building all the way down the side body, and then release it here. All right, hands are just gonna rest. We're just gonna do a quick exercise with our neck. So we're gonna do protraction and retraction with our cervical spine, all right? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna not jut, but just pull your chin off the wall so that your head leaves the wall slightly. Now, exhale, draw the chin under. Try to think about flattening the back of the neck. Inhale, pull the chin off the wall slightly. Exhale, retract. Think dainty double chin as you pull the head back. Let's take about 4 more here. So little movements, just working on some of those deep neck stabilizers here so that when we're in that seated position, we don't necessarily go into our forward head because the head is pretty heavy. It's like 8 or 9 pounds, depending on, I don't know, how much hair you have. How much does your hair weigh, Kingsley?
I've never measured it before. Pretty heavy when it's wet.
The point is that your head can weigh a lot. So when we are, out of position or out of alignment, it can cause, some of that muscle tension or just some anomalies in how we stabilize. Last one, pull that chin in, hold it for just a moment. Think about imprinting your head into the wall behind you, and then release it. All right, now we flip around. We're gonna do that whole segment on the opposite side. So now we're facing with the opposite hand to the wall, and we start with our book openers. So hands are together to start, and then we are going to inhale, start to reach the hand open. Feel that nice spin around the spine. Good. And then exhale, close it shut. Again, as you inhale, the hand that's on the wall is sliding further away from your torso. Create that opposition between the 2 hands. Exhale, start to pull into those obliques. The inhale allows you to invite more length. So think about like a spiral escalator, right? Who's read Harry Potter? That's what the headmaster's office should have looked like, right? But that's the idea, is that it's a continuous spiral up, 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 and we're never moving out to the side or down. Last two. Find that length. Use those obliques to help push the rib cage around. Exhale, draw it to center. Last time. Make sure we're keeping those shoulder blades sheathed on the back of the body. Keeping that little bit of depression that we warmed up with. And then back to center. All right. Now, the hand that's off the wall can just drop down to somewhere to stabilize. Your hand that's on the wall is now going to trace that semicircle around and behind you. And remember, if you're a little tight in your chest, just move a little further away from the wall. But you'll probably have a little sticky point somewhere where you feel that you have to, maybe bypass just a sweep, but now you're having to do a little bit of a stretch to get into that position. Mine's right about here. But the wall is there to make sure that you're tracing evenly through that whole pattern. All right, on the next one, we're going to draw it up, back, and this time we add a little bit of extension. So just think open the chest slightly, chin comes up a little bit, little extension in the mid-back, and then draw it all the way back to center. One more time with our extension. Inhale as we lift it up. Think tiny little swan. And then all the way back up and over. And we are ready to work now. That was just the warm-up, guys. All right, so now find your way over to your banded area, all right? And we're gonna start seated, facing towards your anchor point. We're gonna start with some presses here, all right? And remember, at any point, just holding your arms up in this position is gonna be a lot of work. So if you feel that you're starting to come up into the neck or the traps, just drop your band and do this without the band, all right? So we're gonna do 3 variations of this exercise. And what it's depending on is the rotation in our shoulder. So we're going to start with our palms facing backwards, all right? So the back of the hands touch, the palms are facing out like you're gonna do a breaststroke, all right? Now, as you exhale, hands are right at shoulder height, we're just gonna press back into a T position. Yep. And then inhale, draw it back in. Nice, good. As we exhale and press back, drop the shoulders down. Yes, keep that nice, beautiful long neck. Good. Inhale, drag it back in. Nice. Now, we did that cervical retraction. Can we think about pressing the back of the head into an imaginary wall behind us? And this is all postural muscles in the back. The shoulders are obviously stabilizing a ton just to keep the arms away from the midline. But you should feel this squeeze right through the middle of the shoulder blades to get that retraction behind you. Whew. 2 more. Press it back. There should be a tiny moment of pause when you get to that end range of motion. Last time. Reach those arms in opposite directions and bring it back to center. Whew. Drop the band for a moment. Let's take a couple shoulder rolls, release any tension you might have built up there. All right, so we just did internal rotation from the shoulder, all right? Now we're gonna go to neutral position. So the palms are gonna face down, and we're gonna do the same exact position. And remember, the rotation, even though I'm referencing the palms, the rotation comes from the shoulder joint itself. Palms are facing down. We're exhaling, drawing back to that T position. Yes. And then inhale, don't release, just control it back in. Exhale, press out to your T. Fingertips reach in opposite directions. Inhale, pull back into the center. Nice. As we exhale, can we open the chest a little bit more? And as we inhale, keep those wide collarbones. Only bring the hands to about chest width apart. Let's take 4 more here. Finding that little moment of pause when you're all the way out so that we don't start to use momentum for this movement. Good. Picturing all those back body muscles just lighting up. They are going to help you with that nice strong drive as you come from the catch to the finished position. Last 2. Good. Keep those arms on one level plane as you draw back. And then all the way forward. Release for a moment. Whew, Kingsley, I'm shaking.
That
No
is really
joke.
hard.
All right, but we have to do one more. So we did internal rotation, neutral. Now we're going to externally rotate. So the palms are now facing one another. You should be able to give yourself a self 5. Start with those hands shoulder width apart. Lift it up to shoulder height. Same thing. Exhale, drag the hands open. And then inhale, pull them back forward. Yes. Now in this external rotation, it's really easy to start letting the head of the shoulder rotate forward like this, all right? Don't become a weird gremlin as you do your external rotation, all right? So if that means you only open up maybe more to a V instead of a Y, that is definitely okay. But think about the head of the humerus, your big arm bone, doesn't start to travel forward. Let's take 4 more. And now that we're in that external rotation, you should feel a little bit of that rotator cuff kicking in. So the back of the shoulder, your, your teres minor is working to keep that shoulder into that external rotation. And this is our last one. Press it back. Make sure you have that little pause and control. And then release it out. Oh, nice job. All right, we're done with those. So roll the shoulders a few times. Look over one shoulder and then the other. Release any tension from the neck. And we're going to take ourselves back into a neutral grip. Hold onto your band with a fist, all right? So now fists are facing one another. We're going to do a hammer bicep curl to an open. And I'm just going to demonstrate this one to the camera once so you guys can see what my arms are doing. So I'm going to be holding onto my band. We're going to hammer curl it in towards the forehead and then open out into our cactus arms, all right? Again, feel free to drop your band at any point. This is hard just to keep the arms lifted. All right, here we go. So we hammer curl it in. Hold that tension on the band as you open up into your nice 90-degree elbows. Now draw the hands back in and release that curl. Good. So we're finding that tension in the biceps to start. Then we open up. Whew, there's those same external rotator cuff muscles. Draw back to center and then release the curl. We're just doing 8 total of these. We've already done 2. Nice. Now remember, moderate your tension here as well as your range of motion, because our goal is to feel that open into the back of the shoulder as well as in between those shoulder blades. If you're feeling it on the top of the shoulder, maybe drop that band so that we can isolate a little bit more into those muscles that we're trying to work into. The traps are generally really tight on everyone, so they're ready to just be at attention at any given moment. Kingsley, were you counting?
I think we finished 5 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, I think we have 2 more then. All right, bad behavior will get you nowhere. All right, last one coming up. Here we go. Keep those elbows lifted as you curl it in. Good. Exhale, press away. Press the backs of the hands too. Draw it back in and release. Nice job. Okay, I wish I could tell you we're taking a break, but we're not. Okay, so we're gonna go into a high row. Again, I'm gonna demonstrate this once to the camera. So you'll be holding onto your band. Palms will now be facing down towards the ground below you. High row, so you're gonna exhale, draw the elbows nice and wide. Make sure the wrists come with you so that we're not doing this weird like fingertips touching. So 90-degree angle at the elbow, and then we're going to flip those palms open for our cactus arms. All right, let's hit it. Palms facing down, hands at shoulder height, and we high row. Draw those elbows away from one another. Once you're into that position, flip the palms up, and then draw back down, release the row. Good. So as you do that high row, feel those lats contract right underneath the armpits. External rotation to flip up to cactus arms, and then release. Nice. So you should feel this majorly in the back of the shoulder now. Good. Yes. Oh, Kingsley, he's so mad at me right now. External rotation, my friends. Super, super important to help keep that shoulder in a safe spot. All right, and I just loosened up my tension a little bit because I could feel myself working in the front of the shoulder just a little bit. So, and if you don't have a band that you can choke up on, remember, the further away you move from your anchor point, the more challenging it will be. The closer you come in, the easier it will be. All right, we've got our last one here. As you exhale, spread those elbows wide. Find that little tension in between the shoulder blades. Flip those palms up, and then drop down and release. All right, we just have one more awful thing to do facing the band. We're going to do a Y to a W. So again, what that's going to look like, hands start a little lower this time if you want, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to draw up so that you make a Y with your arms, and then from there, keep the hands so that they're at about ear level, and you're just going to draw the elbows down into that W position. You should recognize it from our warm-up. Here we go. Again, this one is the hardest exercise. I don't know why I put it in last. So scoot yourself a little closer to your band, maybe. Give yourself a little less tension. All right, here we go. We're going to exhale, draw up to that Y position. Pretend you're in between two pieces of glass. Keep that tension back as you draw the shoulders down into that W. Really think about depressing the shoulders here. All right, now keep that pressure back. We just slide up to the Y. There's no release in this one. Keep the tension the whole time as you slide to your W. Press back up to your Y. Good. And then slide back down. Remember, it doesn't necessarily need to be a Y. You could press up to more of a T if that's where you can keep your good tension and form. All right. Whew. We've only got 3 more. Keep breathing. Keep pulling into the front abdominals. Think about those ribs knitting in a little bit tighter so that we're staying supported from the front as well as from the back. This is our last one. Press it out towards your Y. Pull it into your W and release. Oh, okay. That was the last thing for the backs of the shoulders. But we're not done. We got to even ourselves out a little bit. We just did a ton of back work. So we're going to flip around so that we're facing with our back to our anchor point. And we're going to do just a little bit of work into our chests to wrap up. Okay. So we're going to start with serve a tray. All right. So holding on to both of your handles here. The elbows come into the sides, all right? Now, the biggest mistake in this exercise is to let the elbows come back behind your body, and that will do what? It'll internally rotate the shoulder. We don't want to get there. So make sure you're stopping right below the shoulder. From here, you're just going to exhale, press the hands out in front of you. And then inhale, pull the elbows back in. Yes, exhale, press out. It's called serve a tray, so pretend. Good, yep, palms facing up, that's right. So pretend that you're giving someone, I don't know, a nice tray of espresso martinis, hypothetically, what I want to drink later today. Whatever is on your menu. Now, as we press out, make sure that you're pressing shoulder width. Don't let those hands start to come together and crunch the collarbones. Keep that nice, broad feeling through the chest. We just did all of those scapular stabilizers and postural muscles, so can we keep those muscles working here, even though we're focusing a little bit more on the chest. Just 2 more. Good. On your next one, we're gonna press and hold it out. Now from here, keep those arms nice and long. We're just gonna do little circles. So keep the tension into the band. Keep thinking about keeping the arms at approximately shoulder height. And we're just making circles, maybe the size of a grapefruit, pretty small, with nice control, trying to go right from the shoulder joint. Last 2. And then on the top of the next one, let's reverse the direction. Little circles. Good. Keep thinking about pulling those armpits down. As we lift the hands up, the shoulder blades don't move. Yes. Whew. Continuing to breathe, continuing to press into those bands. You have 3 more. Last one, and release for just a moment. All right. We're going to take one more exercise for our chest here. Again, adding just a little bit of rotation to see if maybe we warmed up that thoracic spine a little bit. So same starting position. We're in that cervitre, elbows right underneath shoulders. Exhale, press the hands out. Keep the hands long. We're going to open the right hand out towards a T position. Reach the left hand away from you straight. Good. And then draw back to center. Now the right hand stays fixed in space. The left hand opens out. Follow that hand with your gaze. And then exhale, draw it back to center. Opposite side. Right arm opens up. Left arm stays stable. And then draw it back to center. Keep alternating here. We inhale to open and exhale to close. Whew. Keeping those arms up, we should feel a little bit of work in the deltoid, the top of the shoulder. And to close the arms up, we should feel some work across the chest, so we're staying nice and even between our backs and our fronts. One more in each direction. Good. Keep those shoulders rolled back. No letting your postural muscles go away. And center. Release for just a moment. We're going to go back into our 90-degree flips, but this time with the hands or with the band behind you, it should feel much nicer, almost like a stretch. We're still working, but the band is going to help guide you. So give yourself just a little bit more tension in this position and start with those hands in your cactus position. So you feel that the band is kind of almost holding you there. Now we're going to inhale, draw the hands forward. The elbows stay fixed in space. Yes. On your exhale, allow the band to just guide you up so that your knuckles are facing the ceiling. Exhale, draw the hands down. Good. Inhale, let the band help pull you into that external rotation. Should feel just like a little stretch in the back of the shoulder. We're working to pull the band down, and then we are resisting, but we're allowing the band to make those arms feel a little bit weightless and find that external rotation with some assistance. Let's take 3 more. Good. Check in on those elbows, make sure that they are nice and still as though they were supported on a table right below you. Last one. Keep that chin tucked just slightly. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Good. And then go ahead and drop your band down. Let's take a little stretch. That was a tough shoulder day. So let's start by just clasping the hands behind you. Reach the fingertips down. And just think about rolling the shoulders back as wide as you possibly can. Yes. Finding that nice openness across the chest and the shoulders. The shoulder blades are nice and tight behind you. And then if you want a little bit more, you lift your hands up behind you just a little bit to extend that stretch. If you have a nice friend, maybe they'll give you a little push-up to help you find more of a stretch. Ask your dog. And then let's release that down. Let's take one arm across the chest. Hold on to it for a shoulder stretch across the front here. Make sure that you're holding on to either your forearm or your upper arm. We're not pressing on the elbow itself. We need to be kind to our joints. And then when you're ready, let's switch sides. Again, think about not just letting the shoulder collapse. Continue to push the shoulder back behind you so that you can feel that opposition. You're pulling the arm in one direction and your shoulder's pushing it in the other direction, right? Like we're pulling toffee apart. Only the toffee is your muscles. And it's less delicious. Good. And then let's release that down. Couple of neck stretches to wrap up. Make sure we're sitting up nice and tall still. And then we take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Good. I like to take my left hand and reach it really long away. Again, imagine that toffee being pulled in opposite directions by your ear and your fingertips. Your right hand can come and just rest on top of your head if you'd like a little bit of extra. Yep, don't pull, just let it be a little bit of weight there. And then we release the hand, come back through center. All right, this time we're gonna rotate the head and look down at your collarbone or your armpit. Same thing, you can reach the fingertips long, maybe a little bit behind you to intensify that stretch. Hand can rest on the back of the head for just a little bit extra. And then we release the hand, look back up, come back to center. Now, left ear towards the left shoulder. Feeling that nice stretch right along the side of the neck. Reach those fingertips of the right hand away from you. Add that extra weight of the hand if you want it. Woo. Yep, this side is much tighter. You'll definitely notice some asymmetries in the stretching. And then draw that hand off, bring the head back up to center. Now we look towards our left shoulder and then down at the collarbones. Reach the right fingertips away, finding the longest line you possibly can, and then the left hand can rest on the back of the head. And then release the hand, look back up to center, come back to your neutral neck. We're just going to take 2 neck rolls in both directions. So we look down at the chest, roll to the shoulder, roll all the way back, look at the ceiling. Opposite shoulder and down at the chest. One more time in that direction. Take your time. Find all those little creaky spots. Once you're looking at your chest, reverse the direction. Now we roll around in the opposite direction. Try to isolate this from your neck, keeping those shoulders nice and quiet. And then once you're looking at your chest, bring yourself back to your nice long neutral neck, and we'll take 3 shoulder rolls in each direction. Let's start forward. Roll the shoulders forward. Good. Think about each of those positions. All this is elevation, depression, protraction, retraction, but we're, smoothing out those edges a little bit. All right, let's reverse. Roll the shoulders back. Really find that open chest as you bring the shoulders back and around. Yeah. Last one. Shoulders go back and down. Leave them in that position, and you guys are done for the day. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully you're not too sore tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the box below, and we will see you next week.